John Cena giving financial advice. Y'all know who John Cena is, WWE superstar. I look up to John Cena, you feel me? He done did it right. He done been able to move over a whole entertainment aspects from wrestling to starring in feature films now. He really did it up. And John Cena has always come off as someone who's very intellectual and thinks through the decisions that he makes in life. So he was at Club Shay Shay, you feel me, with Shannon Sharp. And Shannon Sharp asked him a few financial questions. And John Cena gave us his best financial advice. So let's go ahead and get right on into it.
You're big in the stock market. You like to invest. So what was some of the best advice that you've received and some of the best advice that you've given people to help them be able to do what you've done, John?
You're all over the map, but I love this. This is great. This is great. Don't spend beyond your means.
Okay.
I think that is important to...
Is that easier said than done?
Yes. Yes, because of a lot of things, but I'll trim it, okay. Make it easy. Don't spend what you don't have, and try to spend less than you have so you can save a little bit.
Okay.
Don't carry debt, because, and I know that's not a universal thing, because there are many people who would advocate when the percentage of debt is low, carrying debt's good because I can beat the percentage in other investments.
Right.
I'm just afraid one day they're going to call the margin and I don't have the money.
Right.
So I tend to not want to owe anyone anything. That way, all tabs are square at the end of the business day.
Correct.
Don't spend more than you have. Don't carry any bad debt. And be accountable. I think that's, and know who you are.
Let me cover those first two real quick before we go any farther. Don't spend more than you have. Come on now. That's a simple one. This is why everybody living paycheck to paycheck and picking up bad debt. Number one and number two go hand in hand like no other. Everyone's out here living paycheck to paycheck because they got a whole bunch of bad debt that you can't afford. Let's be real. Let's be real. You have to live within your means. We have so many people, houses they can't afford, cars you can't afford, going on vacations you can't afford, living a lifestyle that you can't afford, trying to flex for everybody, getting clothes you can't afford, getting jewelry you can't afford. Like, come on. Come on. We are too over leveraged at this point. It makes no sense. And then with that comes you picking up all that bad debt because you got to pay for it somehow, unless you scamming. Y'all know we is in Atlanta. So you could be scamming your way through it. I see how y'all doing it out here in Atlanta. Scammers United out here on some crazy stuff. But John Cena, he came out the bat telling us, man, you got to get it together. It's no reason you should be living paycheck to paycheck out here. You just got to live within your means. Let them know, Cena.
If you're someone who wants to get rich quick, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Understand the math behind that. Talk to a venture capitalist and ask them how many of their assets fail. A venture capitalist will invest in 400 companies, hoping one survives. There's yield from one. So if you're at home with your $100 and you want to get rich quick, you got to take that $100, somehow bet on 400 companies,
right,
and hope one hits. But if you push it all into one, you are locked into that hook, line, and sinker. So I think know who you are as an investor.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I try to be safe. My stuff is the most unsexy shit you'll ever talk about. And people always are like, man, this thing's going to smoke. It's going to be great. Good for you.
Yeah.
And I'm also okay with the success of others.
You go with T-bills, huh?
Man, I like this club. Can I get one of those fancy lockers here? This is a good, so know who you are.
Yeah.
And I think keeping up with the person next to you is a bad idea. Just always try to have a good balance sheet. Look at your books. Look at where you want to be. And look at what you spend, look at what you earn, look what you spend it on.
Right.
I think getting out of the habit of spending more than you make, that right there changes the dynamic of everything. If you have enough money to begin saving money, holy shit, you are beating the game. If you have no debt and can put money away, you're ahead.
What's John's best purchase
Let them know, Cena. Know who you are. A lot of people don't even know who they are when it comes to the money aspect. And the reason you don't know who you are when you come to that money is because you ain't got a budget. He told you in there, write it down. That way you can see where your money going in and out. Stop trying to be somebody who you're not. I know for me, 100%, y'all would never see me flexing clothes. You would never see me out here buying all these expensive Jordans and doing all that stuff because that's just not who I am. Wearing a lot of designer stuff, that's not who I am. I'm not trying to live up to that. Period. I know who I am. I could be out here, flexing some new jewelry or something. Flexing the new Jordans. Flexing an expensive shirt, you feel me? Go out to the designer spots, but that's just not who I am. So I'm not going to spend my money on that. We're not trying to live up to somebody else's expectations out here. And you shouldn't be trying to do that neither. Do things for you. That's why you need to be living within your means. And it starts with a budget. You need to write down how your money moves, where your money's going, and knowing what type of investor you are. Like I said, I am also a very slow investor. I think I move slow. I want to move slow. I'm not really interested in making a lot of fast money because when you're moving fast, it's a lot of mistakes that really do come from it. There are certain ways to move quicker, but getting fast money, like we're doing some day trading and stuff. First off, I don't want to learn everything that comes with day trading. And second, when I look at the people who do it, it's a lot more people who lose a lot of money. They may gain a lot, but they also lose a lot at the same time. I don't want to be a part of that game. That's not the type of investor I am at all. So I'm not even going to play that game. And Cena will tell you, he's looking at it the right way. 100%. You got to, when you're not living paycheck to paycheck, it makes your life a whole lot easier. And you'll be a whole lot happier too, as well, because you're not worried. You're not as worried about, how am I actually going to pay my bills, because you're not living the paycheck to paycheck. You got a little extra in there. Come on, Cena.
And his worst purchase.
Worst purchase. Oof. Man, I made a ton of bad purchases. Bad purchases would have to be cars. A lot of bad cars. I have lost so much money on cars. And that's another thing. Be okay with your failures.
Right.
I love cars. It's a passion. I don't do it to make money. So I lose money on it because it's a passion.
Right.
I remember when I started making money, my worst purchase is because I didn't want a spring for a Lamborghini.
Right.
So I bought a fake one.
Oh my goodness. How do you buy a fake Lambo?
I found a way to do it.
So we had a Lambo body with a Ford engine?
A BMW V12. And I was like, this is like 2003. I found a company that would do it. They put a V12 in it. I'm like, man, it's the same thing. It looks pretty good. Like, it looks great. Yeah, I'll buy it. They tried to stiff me out of the car. I had to ask some friends who knew how to find things to go and find things. I then had to get a title for the car, of which I did. The car finally shows up after 2 years from me waiting. It doesn't go into gear. The motor is held together with the timing of 2 Chevy V6s. So everything's confused. Nothing runs. The car is not roadworthy. So I sent it to a shop. This is 2005. I just got the keys to that car a week ago.
What?
Dang.
A week ago. I sent it to 10 shops. I finally found somebody to do it. They did it tip to tail. And I will tell you, it looks great. But I can honestly say I have the cost, and the collectible Lamborghini market is thriving.
Right.
I have the cost of about a real roadster and a half into this kit car.
You could have just bought a brand new one.
I could have bought 2, sawed one in half, and this 1.5 cars. Be like, yeah, this is it. This is, yeah. But that was a lesson to be like, hey, if you take shortcuts, you're going to get what you pay for.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my takeaway from that. Right. And also, like, I don't regret it because I have a takeaway. Mm-hmm. And in the process, I met a whole lot of shady shop owners, which are great, which allows me to feel good about a good shop owner when I meet a good mechanic and someone who can do honest work. So there's a lot of good takeaways from that. But as far as like statistics, boy, I got my ass whipped on that. Best purchase? Shit, my wife's engagement ring.
Hey, Cena, I feel that. My worst purchase. It's not my car. I know y'all think that's something that I just got would be my car. My worst purchase is a habit that I have of where I feel like in some moments I get generous with a certain aspect that's not the best aspect to be generous in. And to me, my worst purchase, I continue to do this, y'all, is when I purchase a bottle of liquor for everyone to drink and enjoy. A lot of times, I've been doing this for years. I've been doing it for years. And I feel like, I don't just feel like it's the, I don't get the recognition or something from doing that. That's not what I want. But I just don't think it's the best use of my money. That's why it's the worst purchase. And I literally just did this recently. I've done this recently. And I probably will, honestly, I feel like I'm going to end up doing it again. It's a habit I have of I just want everyone to have a good time. And I mean, I do this before I'm drinking or drunk. I do it sober. Like I buy a bottle for everyone here. No one else putting in. And I've been doing this forever. If I was to add up the amount of times where I bought a bottle just for enjoy everyone, I would have some stats back. Because I've been doing it for years. I was doing it when I wasn't making money. And of course, when I started making money, it's even more. That's probably my worst purchase, I feel like. And it's just because I don't think that I gain a lot from it. And it's a horrible use of my money. And it's a horrible use of time sitting there. I don't think it's a horrible use of time when you're enjoying your friends. But sitting there drinking, getting drunk, doing the belligerent stuff and all that. Yeah, that's when it's a now. And my best purchase so far, I think the purchase I've been the happiest, honestly, to make was my car, which is something crazy to say. And I would say that just because it's the joy that it brings me every time I get back in that car. And seeing where I come from, that is the payment I gladfully make every time I make it. I haven't yet, and I've had it for about 6 months. I ain't had that car no 6 months. I've had it what? May, June, July, August. I done had it almost 6 months. About 6 months. Every time I've made that payment, I haven't felt bad. Even paying the insurance on top of that, I haven't felt bad. I haven't paid that not one time where I felt bad. That's one of my best purchases. And another one of my best purchases is every time I pay down my student loans. I feel great about that every time. So those are the places where I spend my money that I feel happy with. My car, my student loans. And the places where I feel like have been the worst is when I spend it on liquor for recreation for everybody to enjoy themselves outside of, buying it just for me. That's my best and that's my worst. With that, I want to say thank you, John Cena. You feel me? For giving us that advice. I feel like people need to hear this. People need to hear that. Just as simple and as quick as you gave it to them, telling them you are over leveraged, guys. Stop being so over leveraged. Like, get out of it. Get to a point where you're not living paycheck to paycheck, where you don't have all this bad debt that you're carrying over. It just doesn't make any sense, y'all. We have got to get to a place where we are more financially savvy with the things that we buy, with the way that we do things. And you need to start with a budget. I'm not getting paid for this, but I still tell y'all the Every Dollar app. automates it like no other. So go tap into that. Go tap into the Every Dollar app, and it will make your whole situation easy. As 1, 2, 3, it's all automated. Go tap into that. And I'm not even getting paid to tell y'all to get this app. That's just how influential having a budget on your life will be. Thank you, John Cena. Even though we couldn't see him his whole interview, you feel me? I thought Shannon was talking to a chair. We couldn't see him at all, but hey, great stuff, great tips. Anybody can use it. And with that, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment as